Episode 16. It's crazy to think that we've been doing this for 2 months now. We talked about this a little bit yesterday during our stream on the when we're playing music at home. 8 weeks, 2 months, like the math is mathing. It's like, we've put in the time, and over the last little while we've been developing skills. We've been reconnecting with people. But I think weeks 8 through 12 is all about kind of like applying this stuff and looking at next steps. Like we got to start thinking, okay, like if we're gonna be spending little kind of tidbits, or we're spending money going out on these little trips, that sort of thing. We got to find a way to make it sustain itself, right? We got to find a way for it to kind of come back and you know finance itself, basically. Otherwise, it'll get to a point all we're really doing is spending retirement fund. And anyway, we're not here to talk about that. Instead, we are here to talk about Pokemon Go. So we'll just get that right out of the way. Very, very simple. Today, our road trip took us to meet a person called Ethan who was selling this. That's basically it. Plain and simple. My wife and I have been steadily, actually, we're pretty deep into this world of collectibles and Funko Pops. But more recently, we've been getting into those flocked ones, like the little fuzzy ones. And because we are out of box collectors, the whole idea is to, you don't buy like a thing that you like or a nice thing just to keep in the garage, right? You gotta take it out, you gotta use it, and like take it to stretch its legs, okay? And if it's something that's usable, use it. Don't just look at it. So we've always been kind of out of box collectors, and we're adults about it. We take care of stuff. But yeah, if I were to choose, right, it's not I choose you, Pikachu. It's I choose you, Squirtle. Okay, so whether or not you are on Team Squirtle, Team Bulbasaur, Team Charmander, or Pikachu, it is what it is. But that's Pokemon Go. That is really the full extent, I think, of my knowledge of Pokemon. It's just like naming off your starters, and maybe like the occasional few. And that's not to say that I want to say like I want to stay ignorant to the world of Pokemon. It's just I think I just missed it. I just missed it. Like Pokemon Red and Blue, I just missed it. It should have been part of my formative years, but alas, I learned about these things afterwards. Okay. Did I say Ghastly in the comment? I think so. I think I did see that. Says the man who's got a Ghastly tattoo. There you go. Ghastly's your guy. And people are like, I call Cap. You clearly know more about Pokemon than you're letting on. Like, I know Psyduck's got headaches. Jigglypuff sings a song. The basics, the basics. You can't go wrong. Can't go wrong with that. But yes, that singular Funko Pop, that single little flock dude, that basically that concludes our trip through Pokemon Go. Sorry to disappoint you. That's it. But right now, I'm just kind of sitting here, like you're like he's not even wearing a seatbelt. He's not even driving. No, I'm not driving, because I'm currently at Parkway. What's this place called? Parkway Car Wash. And then just to give you a little context, I don't know. Maybe this is the bougie life, but behind me, there's a Porsche there. There it is, and in front of me, there's also a BMW. Now we're all just kind of in queue. I've looked at the pricing, the schemes, the models here, and I'm not very impressed. I feel like I'm kind of at that stage where, with my current employment, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, I can save myself that $40 and clean my own car. Plus, I like to run a pretty tight ship, so I don't think there's really a whole lot to clean beyond the exterior. So I'll probably just either do that at a coin operated spot or just do it at home. Not spend $40 here. Still, the line seems to be pretty nice and long. So business is good because the weather's great. The weather's absolutely gorgeous. Only to be told that I think it's going to snow again on Monday. So, if you are a fellow Ontarian or Torontonian, you're from the GTHA. That's a new thing too, right? Greater Toronto and Hamilton Area, GTHA. Maybe to get away from the GTA associations, right? The video game Grand Theft Auto. But anyway, they're calling for snow again on Monday. Yeah, the more you know. And if you're a driver, wait until midnight. The gas prices are coming down. Yeah, you heard it here first. Hmm. And I probably heard it on 6A News. But if you're tuning in, you're probably here to listen to me just kind of, you know, ramble, yap a little bit, and I actually won't be taking this stream very long. I decide on like where to commit for this whole car wash thing. Plus, I've also got a little appointment at 12:30 to go look at some bookcases which I plan on mounting in the garage as shelving. But that's a whole other project. What have I learned so far? Okay, let's take a moment and reflect on that. Well, the the way that I've been approaching content creation has been kind of like a scientist. I've been doing my best to create controls, like literally running multiple accounts, in some cases, following different content just to see what the algo will then recommend to me, and then kind of using those recommendations as sources of inspiration, because given like these are accounts that only follow, okay, they're not expecting followers. So if I'm following say like 10 people on account number one, and all they're suggesting is like really positive and really upbeat content, what would happen then if I started creating account number two? Okay, let's just call this, you know, test account number two, right? And test account number two is ultimately going to be, you know, the account that follows only negative content. And again, let's see what that recommends, and then I'll use my own account as a control. All right, like that's what I mean by approaching it kind of like a science. And at some points through these live streams, I put up like little Bristol boards and little things that are just kind of like, these have been my mind maps or just kind of, you know, visual arts and crafts. It has helped me to just kind of organize and think of my time as, okay, if going into content creation is really something that I genuinely see myself leaning hard into, I need to go into this with a plan. And to have a plan also requires having a schedule. So, what's going on? Well, on Instagram, there are daily story updates. We try to aim for either a reel or some kind of extra, longer, you know, content, longer format stuff on Instagram every week. If it doesn't happen, still every day there's some kind of story, and that story just sticks to the theme of, you know, stories to a soundtrack. There's some kind of song that I can hear, and if we can map it to this moment in time, cool. Maybe we're making a joke, maybe we're making reference, we're telling a story. That's Instagram. That's out of the way. Then we've also got, you know, TikTok and Douyin and Redbook, and I'll lump all of those together, where it's kind of like been a sandbox for my wife and I to experiment with language content. You know, just kind of chatting with each other and then saying, hey, like as someone who looks super Chinese, I don't speak Mandarin, and I'm really bad at speaking Mandarin. And when we were in China, it was kind of embarrassing. Like folks were coming up to me expecting me to have an answer, and I was just like, yeah, cool, right, English. And so, you know, learning Mandarin is important to me, not only from a cultural standpoint, not only from a family standpoint, but I also want to be able to, like, you know, talk to my in-laws and have a, you know, a relationship that kind of goes beyond just smiling, nodding, and being, you know, like just kind of goes beyond that, like having more depth to conversations and just being able to carry that conversation. That's huge. So that's something that Catherine and I have been working on, you know, on that aspect, which kind of brings us to, you know, Twitch. And that's something that I've continued to explore on Thursday nights, you know, with what started off as online teaching that's now branched into video gaming. And yeah, last but not least, YouTube. Right, here we are. So I don't know if this is like the final boss, right? I don't know if this is kind of where we're supposed to say like all these ideas are going to come back to this. But really, if there's one thing that I learned, is that there's only really two things that folks care a lot about, and those two things are experiences and end results. Yeah, if you are able to make your audience care about the experiences and the end results that you provide, you're gold. I think that's it. I think that's the formula, right? If you're able to kind of hone into that and be genuine about it, right? So be genuine in the way that you share experiences and end results. Maybe I'm wrong about this. Hmm. Maybe we'll look back on this video down the road and be like, okay, like he was onto something. But anyway, that is genuinely what I think is the take home lesson, right? From being a content creator, from leading into this world. There are other little lessons too, in terms of like, if you can't overcome the fear, do it scared. Like, I think folks who've had me as a in a classroom, you've heard me say this at some point or another, and I used to actually, I still think that a lot. Right? Again, if you can't overcome the fear, do it scared. But maybe there's another part to this. Is just, lean in. Like, whatever happens, lean in. Like, you're always going to be scared. You're always going to be uncomfortable, and actually, you need to be, right. You need to be comfortable at being uncomfortable. Yeah, that's another thing I've learned. And yeah, the value of meaningful connections. I think that's really it. Like, it just goes beyond the, like, let's grab coffee sometime, right? Like, let's see each other once in whenever, but like genuine connections, right? And that requires effort, because it's like the word hope. It's a verb. It takes action. Mm. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe this is going to be a short stream, because I actually just want to make sure that I hit two of these every week. Like, this was a case where, like, with these YouTube live streams, the idea was to provide some form of consistency, right? It's like, hey, like, I'm still posting over here, because video one was successful, but video one was successful because it's like kind of scandalous too, right? It's like, oh, where's Drew? Where is he? Oh, he's over here. He's on YouTube now. And then in terms of, like, again, still talking about what we've learned, analytics about video two, in terms of performance, a lot weaker, right? And that's because just maybe there's too much time that's in between. Maybe it wasn't very special. It's just me talking against the backdrop of all the stuff that I've done on Instagram, which I've been kind of using as a kind of like a bookmark. Yeah, in lieu of just like literally uploading everything to the drive, to the cloud. I'm just using social media now to kind of be like, let's save some space, tell a story, save some space. And so yeah, video two was kind of, it was all right, wasn't a home run, I don't think. But I want to do something a little different with video three, and that required enlisting the help of a friend who I think might still be dealing with some jet lag, but that's okay. Things will come together. It will all make sense when it makes sense. Can't rush the process. So that's where we are at. Okay, that is where we're at. But folks, if you are, you know, checking out that Pokemon Go, or if you're still playing Pokemon Go, good on you, I guess. Mm. The mobile game that ate up a considerable amount of my time was Marvel Snap, and I gave up. Actually, I gave up on that game around Deadpool's Diner. Like, I wasn't having fun anymore, and I haven't gone back since. Yeah, John, it gets us outside, right? Like, I seriously thought about making this stream like, hey, like, I'm just gonna ride my board and actually play Pokemon Go. But then my wife found Squirtle here on right, Marketplace, and at $5, right? This wasn't even a case where like I feel like Marketplace, and then the meme that goes with it is like, let's just lowball everyone, or let's just get rid of stuff that you don't want. And in this case here, I guess this person just Marie Kondoed their life, and they're like, I don't see value. This does not spark joy. And and then my wife and I, it's like, it's fluffy. Like, let's get that. So there it is. It will join our wall of fluffy, flocked Funkos. Yeah, and so again, this is thematically on point here, John. It's I hear that Funko's increasing its prices. And so I heard this from a guy called Davis. Actually, what's the name of his store? He runs DJK Entertainment. It's very close to school. But DJK Entertainment has Pokemon cards, collectibles, Funkos, all that. Really great guy. Stop in, say hello, Davis. Tell him I sent you. And but what you call it? He was saying that Funko prices are looking to go up, and that's because like manufacturing's going up, the licensing, et cetera, et cetera. But behind the scenes, there's also this issue where like in many cases, like Funko's kind of like crumpled its own distribution, right? Because every like in the very first month, say you had like 100 like SKUs, you had 100 of these like products, and as a collector or as someone who's like a vendor, you're going to decide on which SKUs to order. You're going to be like, hey, I want all the Pokemon, but they're not all going to sell, right? And so once you've got that, now you've got dead stock. Say for example, you ordered the wrong SKU number, now you're in trouble. You ordered one SKU number only to find out that a limited edition comes right after with a different SKU number. You're like, I'm left on the bag. And it's gotten to a point now where like every month there are just hundreds and hundreds of releases. Like I'm sure it may even be in the thousands now. Like what's coming out next? All the Nintendo. And here's all the chase variants of Mario and different outfits, colorways, poses. And that's the addictive part of this stuff, right? Like the the part of us that I think all of us in some way like completeness. You want to look at something and be like, oh, I'm missing that last one. Um, the, right? Anyway, for all the collectors or the folks who, um, I don't know, are just get addicted to things easily. Be careful. Just be careful. It's a slippery slope. Mm. Oh, Lego sets are the same. Like we were buying so it started off as just like Lego store or like let's find someone who's selling their like unopened box. There's a whole market for box less Lego. No questions. We don't ask too many questions. We don't talk about Bruno, but we don't ask too many questions about why the box doesn't exist, which truck it fell off of. And then there's also all the kind of like knockoff Lego, right? And the problem with that stuff, like I've got a giant shark that like it's so difficult to build. Like I feel like I'm just giving excuses, but it is difficult because the pieces aren't like the fit isn't quite right, right? And when you're Lego, there's a Lego standard, and when you're not Lego, when you're trying to be or imitation Lego, you follow a different standard, which will affect fit and how pieces come together and right? In many ways, you do get what you pay for. In many ways, that's the case. Mm. But ideas, lessons learned. John, have you learned anything new lately? Talk to me. What have you learned? You seem in all my conversations with you, you're always a very learned individual. I, while you're thinking up an answer or reply, I had the honor of seeing some folks from Leaside yesterday night. They're all grown up. They're all grown up. They're all established professionals. We had bankers, entrepreneurs, doctors. Like it was a good energy, good time. Kryptonian, salut mon ami. How are ya? Let's see here. Oh, I just lost the chat. I've chatted so much, son. Uh, Learn lots of health and protein stuff. Jim's got a new menu. Excellent. Lots of exercises with words I've never heard before. And you're like, plyometrics? That means jumping. Muscles? They can only pull? Question mark. Yeah, no, the health sciences is so cool, man. Like, I, I am far from being an expert. I went to school to study the sciences, but a very specific kind. Like it was like gene therapy, biochemistry, like very niche. And I didn't end up doing anything with that stuff. Kryptonia, it is a beautiful day. It is like almost 20 Celsius out. I don't know what the weather is like right now. What's the weather, John? Let me see here. Check the weather app. 10 degrees. Okay, I'm lying. But with the sun, it feels really nice. And I'm sitting in this little like kind of parking lot. I don't know, the car wash driveway thing. And I feel like I'm with all the cars that are thinking like I could do this myself. But this line hasn't really moved in the sense that it's a beautiful day to get your car washed, get it cleaned. I think I'll head on over once one of those coin operated ones in a bit and stand on business. That's the thing. If you don't mind getting, your elbows dirty, like rolling up your sleeves and getting your hands dirty and just taking the time to fumble, you will learn incredible things. Everyone. Like I hope someone clips this and it's just kind of, like if this is the one thing I'm remembered by for the time being, right? I'm hoping. Right? I'm hoping I certainly don't peak here, but go do stuff. Right? That's it. That's all I'm telling you to do. Go do stuff. Live life. The moment you stop doing stuff, the moment you maybe start doing someone else's stuff and living someone else's life, your life. Yeah, but seeing the Lisa crew, very cool. Everyone's growing up. They're older, more established, going places, and yeah, truly can't complain about that. All right, I'm poking and tapping things. I think I should actually get back on the road here. I'm gonna do the car wash myself. This is executive decision, but I want to get back onto the road, hit that 12:30 link up, wash the car, maybe post a picture, call it a day. But as always, folks, I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate you stopping by, and John, I know you're right there, so thank you, dude. And Kryptonian as well, and Bumblebee, and all the usuals. Just like I appreciate the love, really sincerely. Right, your motivation, your encouragement, right, is plenty to give me fuel, give me ideas, to keep coming up with new things, right? To keep doing this, it encourages me to keep trying wherever it goes, wherever it goes. Um, yeah, 12:30. Okay, let's make that meeting. Folks, have a good rest of your day. We'll be back next week. Hopefully with the video update. Hi friend, right? 2 months later, video update number 3. We can count. Unlike Valve and Half-Life 2 and never be able to get to 3. But we will get there. Okay, so that's the plan. And once we do, we'll try a different format, and I think it'll make a lot more sense for y'all to see it. Okay, as opposed for me to just keep yapping and talking about things. But here I am. I'm going to continue to learn. Okay, if there's one thing that I've learned is that the more I learn, the more it seems there's yet to be learned. How many times did I just say learn there? You leave that in the comments. Folks, have a great rest of your day. Take care of yourselves. Be kind. Until next time. Peace.